Hey there, folks. Welcome back to Campaign 11, and we're still sitting through the winter here, so not too much has changed since this is picking up where the last episode ended, but yeah, we're waiting for winter to pass and the rains to go away and all that other stuff, and then we're going to start pushing. Of course, we'll probably end up doing a little bit before that, but who knows? We could probably still do naval stuff. It's one of the nice things about winter is they don't seem to mind about moving in in the winter. And the other odd thing is that I wonder how bad the winter actually is out. Well, kind of looks frosted over, but I always wondered why troops that were further south really cared all that much about winter quarters and all that other stuff. All right, so we got industrialization too. I guess that's a fine place to start this episode. We're going to do breadbasket. It's going to give us more agricultural subsidies. Probably should have done that one a long time ago. We're about to have enough for farm mechanization. The third take, more subsidies will allow possible additional takes after that. After that, after Ag 2 goes to, we got a couple choices about how we proceed. We could do northern routes, which is the only reason I was taking industrialization was to get this. Transport capacity along the Great Lakes is nice. Production demands of crops is also nice. The loss of 15% volunteers is not nice, and so I'm not sure that I need to pull the trigger on that one. I also want to get diplomacy rolling because if you haven't watched the video, that's okay. You don't need to. I'll give you the short version of it. What I found through a number of tests, this is particularly from the Union, that the kind of ultimate cheese deal is to just spam trade deals. It's not build a lot of railroads. I think I've built a few in here that have the prospect of making their money back before the campaign ends. It looks like it's going to end this year in 63. And so this is kind of a late game play in case things are stalling and you need more money. This is a really good kind of 62-63 play, at least in this modded campaign. In vanilla, you can get to this much faster, and it's actually also much more powerful in vanilla. I think I kept the cost of each take. No, I haven't. I increased the cost, and I think I decreased the effect a bit of what trade deals does. But anyways, it's more expensive here because I realized how crazy OP it is. At least for the Union, I don't recall even needing it as the CSA, but we'll see. Maybe the next campaign will be a CSA one. Yeah. We'll see about that. But anyways, that's my thinking there. And we take a look at all of this, right? This is why I think the war is ending this year. I mean, the average of those two, they're going to settle around 57, 58. We're in CSA territory, not being moved out. We're at, say, 78, 79. And we have not quite a 2-to-1 advantage, but we're doing pretty well. I don't like that. We're sitting with a very nice surplus here. We have those tariffs, and we haven't even done other stuff. They're about breaking even, or maybe running a slight deficit. We want to push that up because their credit isn't the best. You can see the interest rates, they were up, right? 7 1/3. We're nowhere near that. We're doing very well economically. So we don't have to spam trade deals to get all that tariff revenue, but we could. But I might be more inclined after this to maybe look at emancipation, which I thought I had already done, but apparently I didn't. Because then from emancipation, we go to USCT. And so that available volunteer recruits, I assume throughout the Union. So plus 10% there would offset, I think, a loss of 15% from Midwestern states. So that's a definite possibility. Or Enrollment Act 2, which is really nice. I mean, the hit to national morale -3, it's really going to be national morale, not national support, decrease by 1.5. I'd be okay with that for a doubling of the recruitment base and the speed of replacements being doubled, especially when we're in the fighting. So I kind of like Enrollment Act 2 and Emancipation USCT because they fill gaps that I feel I kind of need. When we look at The recruitment, it's been a couple months. Yeah, it hasn't gone up that much. I think last time I looked at this, I had, I don't know, 130, 140,000 volunteers. So it might make more sense after we're done with Ag 2. And we are going to go through farm mechanization, which is going to increase the recruitment a bit. The other thing we can do is we have a lot of military subsidies saved up, and it was going to go into logistics reform, but I've actually kind of, I used to rave about that policy, but I've nerfed it so hard because it was so easy to do that I don't even know if it's worth taking. But I like recruitment offices, which I've also nerfed over vanilla, but I think it's still really good. And this is something we can do that the CSA isn't really going to be able to match, or if they do, they're going to run themselves into bankruptcy. So I don't know, but as much as I'd like to go the economic route, I think I'm probably going to lean more towards the recruitment route and then just pump up the numbers here and see if the CSA can keep up. If they can't, we'll press in and we'll stop their support, and this war will be over. The plan for the spring in Virginia, you can pretty much see it just by looking at the map, but those three armies there that won the big battle in the last video, their goal is going to be Petersburg. Over here we have this first corps. Really should be a better default naming of these corps. I know I could change it, but I just don't feel like it. They're getting a supply depot up just to assist this force's move towards Lynchburg, and then the force that is somewhat scattered out here will consolidate. It's also fresh, right? They're all green core that I think I raised late in 62. They're going to consolidate. They're going to push to Winchester, and then I think their target after that will... There's a supply depot here. Probably a supply depot up here, and at that point, Richmond is surrounded, and I think we can then just push south with this force. Whatever combination of those two forces are left are going to push into North Carolina. Hopefully this push will also help some of the goings-on in Eastern Tennessee, because this force, the way this map plays and feels, it just feels easier to go to Georgia, northern Alabama, and Mississippi. And out here in Arkansas, as long as they're uncontested, and yeah, that army has a ways to go. Little Rock is not going to be hard to get, and when we get Little Rock and control both sides of the Mississippi, we can then kind of freely... I wouldn't push into Louisiana, but... Anyways, that's kind of my thinking of how the 63 campaign is going to roll out, and this is all going to end. We'll wait and see if anything goes according to plan. But since I have so many volunteers, I think I'm going to create a new army, and I think... let's see. I'm not sure if I want an army to deal with this or to deal with this. So not being terribly sure. I guess we'll look for... I think we already have an army of Indiana, don't we? Virginia? Yeah, we do. Creature of Habit. And Ohio. But we don't have one in Kentucky. I mean, there's no... I wonder what happens if you create a second army of Indiana. Does it just show up as Army of Indiana? Oh, okay. So this is a little bit more interesting. Is it? it's the Phil Sheridan. All right. Yeah, sure. We'll do that. Oh, McClernand is going to be fielding the first of his 3 corps, and we're going to fill those corps out in the way that I tend to do. Connecticut. All right. Illinois can give us that. You know, I was thinking I should recruit from the Midwest states now if I'm going to go the that act, but I'm not sure I want to do that. All right. And then we'll give it 1 battery. District of Columbia tends to produce a lot of my batteries. All right. They're set up. Ohio. All right, what else here? Oh wait, we're on a cav. That's right. Wonder what Mitchell that was, because I have a Mitchell. I think commands a cav division. I think it's Ormsby, Mitchell, something like that. I don't know. Why am I asking you? You probably do know. All right, that's McClernand's force. We got to move. No. Yeah, we got to move Sheridan. We'll move him down here. And we'll get the other corps set up. All right. The four shadowed naval action. Yeah, these guys look ready to go. And I thought I ordered. Oh, so this Navy did get up here. It had a weird path I didn't give it. I ordered it here, and it looked like it was going to go out west of Brashear and then just. I don't know. Maybe they can travel through this. It looked like it was going to go over land. You know, they were going to put the wheels on those boats. But all right. Are there any remaining CSA forts? Probably. And we do have amphibious attack, which is nice. Plantations. Yeah, I think eventually we want to come up and assist in the attack on Fort Hyman. Or is it Heman? But I digress. We have a supply depot. King Cotton enacted. Let's see. They don't want to move during the winter. I mean, they'll probably get their readiness back, and they are the most experienced force. I wanted to get a supply depot set up maybe. Well, we already control Danville, but maybe around Danville. Just sometimes in Little Rock things get a bit. Oh, you know what? That's actually not a bad use of the Atlantic Fleet, because you can sail up here, and sometimes, well, not sometimes, but if the CSA tries to cross these, if you have a flotilla there, you can knock them off, because land forces, in order for that engagement to happen, kind of convert themselves to a naval force, and they get a significant reduction in their firepower. I'll complain about the game. I because I like it, and doesn't mean that every part of it I'm happy with, but it is one of those things that is missing, that was there in the Civil War, where actually land forces, especially those with artillery, had much better matchups against some smaller flotillas than what this game makes it seem. So maybe the nerf is too hard to land forces. I don't know, but I would like those engagements to be able to take place, even if it's just as an auto resolve, right? We can already auto. Oh wait, no, it is. It's only as an auto resolve is how it happens. Yeah, you can't fight it. That's right. Well, then I guess I have nothing to complain about too much, except that I can't do it manually. But that would require naval battles, which apparently is not going to be in the cards. Not for this Grand Tactician. That's too bad. Because so much is right, there's only a little bit left to fixate on, and that's what I'll fixate on. All right, we have a lot of the Chesapeake. We don't have all of it. Not yet. More of foreshadowing. I know the word is foreshadowing. I know. But I say things. All right, this we can't really get from sea. I mean, we could attack it and take it, but we wouldn't take Wilmington and double the forts there. So we will try to shut down Wilmington, but likely by land. Oh, I didn't even know this. Wait a minute. Oh, this is the Potomac Flotilla. All right, they're already. I have a lot more in here than I remembered. All right, that means there's more we can do to mess with them. That's good. And they have amphibious attack. So, and they have battery runner, which is pretty decent. So if I could keep the Second Corps from too much fighting to take that point, we just do it all by river. That would be nice. That would be nice. Oh, winter quarters. Huh. What do they got? 182,000. And we don't really know where it is. They still haven't moved to retake Atlanta. I don't know. I might need to finagle a little bit more with the settings to get the CSA to retake CSA territory. Right now, they're set to vigorously defend CSA territory, but not really to go beyond that. And I think they do when they're not in winter quarters, but I feel like they would probably be okay with sneaking forward and retaking some of that territory lost. What happened? It's that old thing again. Where you click and give a move. Wait. Wait. So you actually are moving. What the issue is. Maybe we skipped. No, now they're moving that I'm actually watching them. I put that guy to be in charge, not to have to babysit him. Come on, keep moving. Check on the progress here. All right. All right, we got breadbasket too. That's what we like to see. I don't know. You know, I was of two minds. I said go with the Enrollment Act. I think and then Emancipation in USCT. But I actually do have a lot of volunteers that and I can just buy more. I think I need to nerf that recruitment policy harder. But if I do, it's symmetrical, and so then the CSA can't use it, and the CSA would probably be happy to trade some money and debt for manpower. So maybe making it harder isn't the way to go. This isn't that bad for what we get for it. All right, 40 days is fine. We'll pay that. We'll be probably by about mid-April. We'll have our next policy act lined up. I have to say, I do like how I've kind of modified the timetable for recruiting a lot of these, or yeah, doing a lot of the research stuff. Idaho Territory organized. Yeah, it's no longer the case that by the middle of 62, I have everything done that I want to. Yet it's also not like I couldn't get to most of these policies. And the CCA has kept up a lot of way. They're struggling now because their national support is so low that there's going to be a much larger hit to research times, just like I had at the beginning of the campaign. For, I don't know, the first 6 months or so of 1861, they were ahead in the research race. I don't believe they're anymore, but it really was only last year that we pulled ahead significantly in national support. So now the long-term research advantage should be with us, even if they are, I don't know if we've find out if they're spamming. They're set up to spam propaganda and to get a lot of admin subsidies. All right, that's not going to tell us. All right. It's fine. All right, Sheridan's almost ready to build his second core. Are we out of winter quarters? I forget what they are now. No, I guess they go through to March. I had changed them. I think I pushed them from like January to, excuse me, to April instead of being, no, December to April maybe. And then I undid that. I just reverted it back to the vanilla. I'm pretty sure it's November to March. Are you engaged, Potomac Fleet? I don't know. Back here. All right, we got it. So the second corps doesn't even have to worry about that. That's nice. And I guess I could turn those two flotillas back to cutting probably Decatur and then, what is this crossing? Pittsburgh Landing. I think that's the play. We should have our next take of farm mechanization, so we're going to do that, thankfully. I'm inclined to go propaganda at this point. Rather than this late in the game going for civil order. Civil order is good, particularly when you're going to be facing a lot of casualties in your future. I'm not sure that that's us right now, though. So. Yeah, I did not do the diplomacy spam trade deals things. All right, so I'm only down to actually, yeah, we are down to plus 30 million. So maybe we should do a little bit more with the economy. The good news is that there's not just the trade route, which is diplomacy subsidies, spamming trade deals, and then doing the feed Europe route, which I could bypass northern routes and go to breadbasket and feed Europe. One, very powerful policy. It's really a good closer. I feel like feed Europe 1 and feed Europe 2, if you're not familiar with them. Relations with Europe, care less about. Trade potential with Europe, plus 25%. Land sales income, it's a minor deal, right? So you're going to go from 12 million to 6 million. I mean, chump change, right? So that's very strong. Going just Revenue Act 3, I forget what my rule of thumb is, like $75 to $100 million annually for each of the Revenue Acts. Bank Act 2 I could do. That's also going to help on the credit rating. It's going to bring in a lot more money. So I have many more late game economy cards to play. And that will roll over to being able to recruit more because of recruitment offices. I could also try to get some of the costs down. Army upkeep is really high. Yet I don't know that I even have. I have my subsidies maxed out. But for whatever reason, I cannot yet. I'm almost to one take of this. It would be worth it considering my annual expenditures about 400 million. So paying 20 million to cut that 5%, 5% of 400 million would be about what? 20 million? Because it's actually a little bit more than 400 million. So it would about pay for itself in 12 months. But I'm not planning on this campaign going 12 months at this point. It doesn't look like the CSA has enough there. National support really has not risen, but their morale has dropped. That's not what they want to be doing. And I'm guessing their armies must be camped either where I just cannot see them in Virginia, or they're all concentrated down here. And then maybe there's some Western forces over here I just can't see. All right. As I say that, they're moving up with some cab. Doesn't matter to me. They got King Cotton. You see, that was not long after the first one, but it's, the level 1 and level 2 policies. They don't take that long. But what I did, so if you haven't heard this before, in how I've modified this, is that these acts and policies, it's harder to get going right out of the gate. They take a little bit longer to complete, I think, on average. Some of the later policies also have long build times, and it feels longer if your support has dropped. So the reason for that was to try to make some of those decisions more consequential. I mean, if you can get everything you want by the middle of 62, and so can the AI, if you're going to go through and make a custom AI personality, it's kind of like, oh, that was fun, but it doesn't really matter. We're already doing the best we can, and now there's nothing left to do. Whereas if there's longer times, it is more consequential about which sequence you choose to take your policy. So I'm I'm more happy with where it is now than where it was pre-mod. All right, I'm sure New York would probably have a lot to order. I might actually want to make good on that idea, though, of recruiting from what I think they're going to deem Midwestern states. If we're going to lose a bunch of them here. Hard to know exactly who they have in mind. See, that would just about finish off Minnesota. But Minnesota's made very little contribution so far in terms of manpower. Maybe there is some to be gotten. Alright. I may have to can that plan. Alright, now some cav. And maybe... Hey, we'll see what Colorado Territory cav look like. Alright, and that will be Granger. We'll see if they get it done. And Phil Sheridan will gallop on over here. All 5 feet of them. Oh my goodness, we're not to April yet. And just like in the real Civil War, we'll fast forward until we're able to do more interesting stuff. As with most things I do, it's not exactly great building up these corps in a new army terribly large because they don't have the experience to move really quickly and to get that readiness back once lost. But I'm kind of just looking to put men in the field and you know, force the CSA to try to match or at least build up and strain their economy a bit, or their finances really a bit. Or again, they can just allow us to use those troops to take their territory, and then they'll lose support there. Alright, Maine can contribute. And it becomes a bit micro heavy if you keep these smaller so that they're a little bit more mobile. I think the plan is to keep them in relatively friendly territory. Who was it that I was complaining about? Minnesota. And that way they won't be as hit hard by some of the readiness stuff and the more seasoned brigades, divisions, armies, and all that stuff. They can deal with it. sure. I'm a little surprised that Kentucky is this kind of still with us. I feel like I've recruited heavily from Kentucky, and it seems to be cavalry, and I do have a tendency to get my cavalry killed. And I don't mean to. I don't know if that's better or worse, but it is true. And maybe we'll just park Sheridan back there, and 3 corps will be, hopefully, enough for him to move. Speaking of hoping to move, it's almost April 1st. If you don't understand why you're new to the game, your armies will take significant readiness penalties if you move them when they're in winter quarters. They don't like it. They're not happy. Of course, more seasoned armies will kind of get over it and other things more quickly, but whoa, there's movement up here? What? What army is he in? I have no idea what that... Well, as you can see, you don't even have to move far to get your readiness drained. All right, it is April, which means don't whine about moving. We'll order Stanley's 3rd Corps there. Okay, your 1st Corps is down and out. So that part of the army is just about DOA. The 2nd is going to go for Winchester. Second, 3rd, 1st, that's probably it. And over here, supply depot and all. Oh, I saw forces there. I still see forces there. So we want to take everybody out of scouting so that if they are called on to act as reinforcements, they won't arrive delayed. That's the reason for that. Army of the Ohio is going to move out. 1st Corps. Wow, that's a small corps. Might have to move, yeah, both of them. And the 3rd Corps can move to Salem. Department of Pennsylvania is an old one. I think we're gonna keep them. I think I was gonna keep them with this force. I was thinking of just sending them down to Knoxville, but let's learn from past mistakes and try to keep ourselves within supporting distance of each other. All right, take you out of scout. Take you out of scout. I guess they weren't in, but I'm not sure that they needed it. All right. Having grabbed these forts, and now we're going to move our flotillas down here. It's weird that they start with the USCT flag because a lot of times they're just like, yeah, sure, whatever the first thing that pops up is. And I haven't even got that. It might be neat to save some of those things. Like, I think that is default. I mean, I have added some AOM stuff. I don't know if they've done additional flags, and so I don't know if I have them. But I'm sure if they did, I would shamelessly steal that. All right, you move there. Let's see. You're gonna move there. Yeah, get out of scouting. Get out of scouting. Get out. And my most veteran, most Western Army, move up here. Atlantic Squadron is going to move up as well. Try to engage any of their forces that might try to cross. I guess we found some of those forces are deep. This is like such an just nowhere land. It doesn't give great angles to other places, so. Colonel Sykes, I don't remember that at all. Oh, I never moved this army in Tennessee. Oh, I wasn't watching what happened over there. It's okay though. La 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 la. All right, so we have a 9-hour delay, but they have an 11-hour. Oh, so they have basically no one until 11 hours, and then a lot of their forces are going to show up. Yeah, I mean this is why we do this. Battle of Petersburg. Now, let's see the last. We were just on this map in the last episode. Clearly, it made an impression on me because I can't remember it. What the heck is that map? It was fine though. It wasn't Chancellorsville the Wilderness, so that was nice. All right, this is. Man, there's something in these battles where I don't know that it gets captured in the video, but it's a new monitor and some new components here, and it is just pulsing. It's really weird. All right, I know you cared about that. We are ordered to attack. Fine by me. I'm gonna take the safer route. Okay, McClellan. Put you in double line as well. Put you there. That looks like our force. Send them, and then we'll press play. The reason why I say it's a safer route is because if they've deployed on this high ground, a lot of times the AI does kind of deploy away. I think sometimes it's too far away from the victory point that when they're defending, they end up having to then become the attackers because I'm able to just sneak in. But if they're able to grab this high ground, it might be able to cause some problems. They're at such a numerical disadvantage, probably not worth it. I believe I have more cav on the field than they do total forces, so there's that. All right, cav is going to push up those ways. And so McCook's in division command, but his brigade is in the other division. Makes sense. All right, keep you pretty close to that road. But the plan here is to just run forward and, smash them up, and get the win before those hordes of CSA show up. Because our hordes are mostly here. Well, now I would say I think they are all here. All right, McDowell. And maybe you coming in late can come over here. And this can work because they had force over here. They're going to have to do something about the forces I'm sitting down in front of them. Or they're just going to have to give me the victory point, and then I'll come in behind them. So that didn't make sense. If they were sitting here and I was worried about, why send McDowell, because these two armies would be up here at Shady Grove Church. And so if they want to camp that side of the Beaver Dam Creek, then we'll flank them from up here. That'll be that. And pulsing the screen is far less bad, I will say, when it's not the paper map. And it seems like the battle map. It's not something I had with the old the old monitor. And the new one is better by all accounts, and I think there's something in the settings I got to do. All right. This is a thick cavalry screen. And we'll keep pushing it forward. Interesting that the armies I think that had less distance to cover decided to mount. I don't mind it, right? As long as they end it the right way. That's what I care about. They didn't mount, but they should. Here, I think we can get cover. Okay, they apparently are already doing that, and we'll push up. Give them a new movement order. Yep, that's already where they're going. That's fine. I think we're gonna move them over there. All right, let's catch the action. Trees look great. I said that with the old system, but the trees look great. Unlike this foliage, right? But the trees look great. Second cav, let's see if that's true. So Maynards over there, they're great at shooting. Maynards, these guys also great at shooting, right? They do not have anything yet. They're very close, and I believe that they probably have Maynards. One thing I did not do when I was recruiting that entire new army, though, I wonder why we get a battle flag if we only have... Well, we did max it out. Alright, at this point, I think you all might make more sense over here. I don't know, maybe... I don't know if I'm going to start fighting these. I actually really like moving the troops and everything, but maybe it would just be a fairer fight. Let the, see how the AI does it at maybe the division level? Allow those commanders to figure out if they have to attack or defend how to do it. Up those lines so we don't run into each other too much. They're going to try to deal with that group that's in the parapet. Alright, we got them boxed. As long as reinforcements don't show up in my rear, I should be just fine. Said, you know, every commander ever. I'll just give them, yeah, maybe. We route? Yeah, we did. Alright. Can help Harney out now. Let's just move up so we're more accurate. Alright, good. That's exactly what we wanted. And I believe this will still push Beauregard back. It's a little silly that it happens, that unengaged units have to... Right, armies that never showed up on the battlefield have to fall back on the campaign map. But I might be wrong. I feel like that's what happens to me, though. I did not build any prison camps over the winter, which I'm now realizing was likely a big mistake. But there we go. And we'll accelerate ourselves to the end. And I won't make you watch it. These be the results. 41 casualties they certainly don't want. But alright, that's it for the Battle of Petersburg. The 63 campaign season is off to... That should not be a major victory. Because those... The overwhelming majority of their forces were not even on the battlefield. But whatever. Whatever. Well, I guess we're going to find out now who has to retreat. Whether it's everyone or just those who were engaged. Maybe it's everyone? Alright, anyways, moving on to Petersburg. Making progress over here. Alright, we have flying column, we have skilled cartographers. Yeah, we'll do that one. I don't love flying column in the east, but we'll make it work. Ah, yes. We got the wheels on. And it's chugging right along. As you can see, I have not even come close to succeeding here in figure out what I'm going to do with this army. I was kind of thinking of deploying it over just the entire army in the core over here, and then using it to strike over here. It leaves us open to a counterattack. And so now oh my goodness, dude, are you for real? You didn't move? You know what? Maybe it'll just be quicker to do this. And we'll try to make sure no one's in their way. Okay, they're all moving. I believe... Didn't I order someone to the mouth? The delta here, or the river? I thought I did. Clearly I was right. Alright, we'll move you over here, and you over here. Finances are hanging on. Yeah, I forgot to order weapons when I recruited all those troops. Okay, you're still working through a weapon order. That'll be all right. 51 parrots, 52 3-inch. I could always give them James rifles. I don't know where we got all this. I wonder if they were captured. Okay, we got it. We got a lot of Springfield rifle muskets. I don't think we need to reorder those. We can do the Mississippis too. And how about some Napoleons? Yeah, we got some Napoleons. So we actually don't have to order anything right now. Army of Northern Virginia. Nobody's in it. B Junior's Corps. I swear I thought B Junior. I thought I was leading a brigade last time I saw him. All right. Doing something here. Ah la 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 la. You heard right. I think I will go with Diplo 1. 26 days is. It's okay. Alright, we've started capturing Lynchburg. Great. So, excuse me. This is pretty much the same battle, although their initial force is 11,500 instead of 5,000. So, but Johnson's still a ways out, and McDowell will get here 6. Apparently, wait, McDowell's going to get here? He's leading, but he's arriving. I don't know. I guess we'll have to play it out. It's deja vu all over again. It looks like the exact same entry point and the exact same 5-pointer we got to go across and take. But that's all right. I still want to do what I did last time, which is to full send and hope that works. We have a much smaller deployment area, though. So I'm not sure we're going to be able to recreate the magic. All right, you'll go up there, I gather. Okay, they're in double line. That's fine. Single line, and let's go. Get our scouts out. Move up. Ditto. So I can move this force over to here because I can always cut it up if I have to. So that'll be the plan there. And we're just going to move this force, which is... It's still pretty heavily wooded, but I would take this map over and over rather than Chancellorsville Wilderness. So this one's interesting because it's got some water, but it's not obnoxious. It's got some open areas, some, quite a few densely covered ones. A little bit of urban warfare. I said a little bit. It's not much, but those aren't really that fun anyways. I haven't played the Washington, D.C. map in a very long time. All right, Cav's up here, so we'll find out if we need to know more. I guess we can push this Cav up and see if anything's waiting for us on the other side. Considering the rest of our infantry is actually making really good time, that'd probably be a good idea. All right, order you up here. Order you up here. And maybe we're almost at the point where we gotta turn some of the controls over to the AI and see what they can get done on their own. Maynard carbine. No, we don't care about the detachment. Yeah, that's what we care about. All right. These guys are great. All right, and it looks like we found at least part of that other force. It's interesting they have us at minor defeat. I would still look to engage these guys south of Shady Grove Row. They're not in fortifications, so even if it's not the best shooting terrain, and it is not, I would still make a play for it. Because we're going to shoot faster. And quantity has a quality all its own. Something like that. Move you up. And move you up here. All right, king is lined up here. At this point, I think I'd rather just keep them together. There is the risk that we're going to get so spread out, but whatever. You don't want to obstruct each other's line of sight, but it might happen. All right, they're set up, and we're about to get some conflict going. So let's clear up the screen. That looks good to me. It looks good. I guess this kind of green micro terrain. I don't know that any of this is necessary when it's green on green like that. I'm trying to find an area that doesn't have, like, this doesn't look, when you're zoomed out, right? It's not like one looks much better than the other. I wonder if I wonder. All right, we are deployed down here. Now they're going to have cavalry of their own. Let's give them the old attack order. And when I was thinking of turning things over to the AI, I meant not the cavalry. Ah. Move them in real close. Yeah, not so easy to move them this time. Not at all. Well, I guess they're going to bug out, so we'll let them be. Oh, no. Yeah. I guess I was right. Don't do that. Jeez. It's the second division I want to move. There we go. All right. Oh, for reals. Yeah, you should spread out. Oh, that's probably why our... I don't know. What is going on here, Jen? Oh, they've just decided this is what we're going to do now. All right. Well, good luck to you. We white. Well, I guess it was the right call. Oh, no. Yeah. I get it. You're mad. You're mad, but... Push up that cab. All right. And we'll have Harney pull back. Morris probably should as well. That's what we're going to do. We're going to have him pull back. Take a look at these forces, which, as you can see, are quite experienced. All right. Detach the artillery. Don Carlos gets detached as well. There you go. All right. Let's see what happens when we tell him to attack. I don't know. I did not realize how late at night it is. Yeah, that's not great for us because that means the reinforcements are going to get here. Mutual at destination. Oh no! What the heck was that? Yeah, McDowell and Johnston are here. Huh. That is weird. Yeah, that is weird. I think the plan is still to finish this fight up, and I don't even know if we're going to try to move forward. I mean, if we move forward, we might be able to distract enough of Johnston to make it a thing. Or we can try to just ride up around, beat them up here, and then turn around and face Johnston when he crosses the Beaver Dam Creek. If you can't tell by my voice, that's the course of action I have settled on. So, all right, put them over there. I think this is where you go. Right, we'll have you over here. Put your artillery out there. McCook can go here. Put a battery right there. Second division can go over here. Yeah, we're giving you... Maybe I'll give just... See what happens if we do it at the level of the core. I don't really want to have it filter down to the cavalry. I'll try to micromanage those as much as I can. Yeah, let's see what happens. McDowell. Yeah, something like. Come on, come on. We could do this. I'm 20% sure. All right, we did it. Oh, and there's some forces back there. Very tricky. Very tricky. All right. Move up. Move up. Move up. And now it's time for everybody's favorite part of a battle, the marching. There, there are sounds of engagement happening. I just don't know where it would be. We get some update on how things are going. 3-1 casualties. No idea what that was. Okay, I was gonna say good. I should lose line of sight on them. I shouldn't be able to see them. Oh, we detached this artillery, so we should now bring it back. Move Ricketts up here. Detach that artillery. Maybe set that over there. Tidwell, I don't think I've detached. As these campaigns go on, I forgot a lot of the stuff that I've done. Or I forget who I've moved this battle. I'm like, oh yeah, Tidball, he was detached, but it was like 3 battles ago. All right, get that cav there. Yeah. No, you really should be in a single line. Oh, I saw that. It's not showing up on the paper map. Well, you can't believe everything you read on a map. Wait a minute. What the heck? There were definitely, yeah, there are definitely troops there. I have discovered them. Or, this is like the scene from The Patriot, right? Where they're all straw men. These are not actual troops. Straw men in uniform. All right. And you need to move up. Why can't I click on Mitchell himself? All right. No, it's not the. Oh yeah, that is the infantry. All right. I feel like I'm missing an order for one of those infantry divisions. I don't know what this is. They show up. Just like that, they're gone. Got the Shady Grove Church. And yeah, I think that's a mistake the AI makes, is that I guess tactically it's pretty sound. And, they are waiting for significant reinforcements, so they don't need to do. They can yield the point for now and still be in the fight. They're not that far out of it. Yeah, actually, they're still up. So if they want to trade some space for time, the friendly show up. That's Makes sense. I think in other cases, they either deploy too far forward that they can't actually defend the point, and then they don't attack when the numbers are against them. I don't quite understand that. Huh? Where is that other cav brigade? Anyways, this is the AI's sending in of infantry. We'll see how they do. The old frontal attack. Now, I would have thrown skirmishers out to eat those early volleys. I think something weird happened there. I don't know what that was. Okay, Harney is over here. Good. Don't really want to touch them, because then we're going to end up in melee. All right, and we got Cobb's cavalry out very quickly. That's what we like to see. Should probably move this artillery up. This is just questionable here from... Oh, no. They've ordered themselves in for a melee. They smell the weakness. Well, we'll see. Hey, there you go. I did not. That was not my order, but that's what I was thinking. Okay. 3rd Division is looking like it's just going to be a reserve. Somebody's got their bombardment targets. That's why everything's going twice as fast as I think it should be, because it is going twice as fast as it should be. Good. And even with routing this force, it doesn't look like it's going to matter too much. Yeah, maybe we move this force over to here. Now, if Johnson goes over this way, well, they're actually in a really bad spot, but burn that bridge when we get there. Looks like they've ordered themselves into melee of some sort. Alright, I think this pocket is just about busted. What is that? 1, maybe 2.5 brigades are still up. I'm a little concerned about the fatigue that we might experience as a result of all these really wide flanks. For the infantry through the woods, the cav can do it, but... Huh. Wait, was that 2,800 cav? Oh, no, 20. About the same ratio. It is less than micro. Yeah, I don't know. Also, just feels a bit. Feels like this is taking a bit longer than it ought to. At this point, I think we're going to take the Cav and we're going to move it over. Uh-oh. Oh. Alright, now they're both here. Yeah, we're just going to pull them out of the fight. Uh-oh. Did I say uh-oh yet? Alright, we're going to turn them around. We're going to move them here. Now, where is that reserve? Oh, the reserves got sent in. Well, deal with that. Alright, Tyler. Yeah, so we busted this pocket. Great. First Cav. I don't know. Yeah, I guess we can order them over there. All right. I think we're going to be so crowded over here. Well, unless McDowell's troops can make it through those woods, but I just hate the looks of that. But I'm concerned about dividing my force and having the Beaver Dam Creek and that forest between them. Who is this? Kelly. All right, get your Cav back here. Get Cox Jr. up here. Clellan needs to get back. Gorman's 3rd Division. Is that the cavalry? King's Division is there. Yeah, all right, that's fine. How tired are we? I think, yeah, I mean, these troops they're pretty good. So we're going to order them up here. That is the 1st Division. 2nd Division ordered up here. I don't love that path, but that is what it is. I think the Cav we can try to run around behind. Yeah. And I don't know, Buell's artillery can come up here. Tidballs can go there. All right, we're reorganizing. My actual advice is now going to be for McClellan to defend. I'm sure I don't have to tell him twice. Kelly, yours will also be to defend. Because we're going to get our numbers up. These guys look at Sherman. Those guys are beasts. They would love fighting in this wood line. I've said it probably in every episode I've seen it, but the level 3 Ace of Spades is so good. It increases 50%, whatever the cover is of what you're in. Morale, when you're in cover is doubled. Reloading speed, when in cover is increased. Oh, reloading speed is increased by 25%. I mean, that's just amazing. Imagine if I had given them like Sharps rifles or something like that. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What? No. No, no, no. Yeah, we're we're going to do that instead. Don't know why. So that's. I don't know if they. I don't think they meant to set up a blocking action. I think they just got caught trying to get to Shady Grove Church. But it is kind of cool if they meant to do that. And as it turns out, they have a force of cavalry. I don't know, at those size brigades, maybe 3,500 between the two of them. Is that McReynolds and yeah, that's some of it at least. Let's look at these rocks. For whatever reason, they look kind of good. Okie doke. Over here, get something that looks like a line. You know what? Let's just keep the cav together. All right, I'm confident we'll get these guys down. Cobb withdrawn. I think that was Cobb's cavalry. Oh, we did send out some skirmishers. I always recommend it. Whether attacking or defending, but I'm going to leave this one up to the AI. I'll put a battery over there. Yeah, this is a concern. Getting flanked by that unit. Alright, so we want to turn to face that. And turn to move on that. Alright, so they're going to get the rest of their force over here. We're out in single line, that's good. Get around over there. Let's see when Russell turns to me. No, he didn't. Huh. Yeah. One brigade in front of the other two. It's a bit odd because basically one brigade cuts off the shots from the others. Most of the shots from the others. You see this part of the line is shooting, but this part of the brigade isn't. This one is. It's shooting through the woods, though. Huh. Interesting. Oh. Also odd that Pemberton didn't come into McReynolds' flank. That's what I thought he was going to do, and that's what I was worried about. But yeah, they just want to stack up and go front to front. I think we got to be okay with that. See, this is a bit odd here. Cox Jr. I don't know why you're still on attack. Kelly is set to defend. So yeah, well. Oh, did he set him to screen? No. But I would set him to single line. Since there's only two divisions, or two brigades. Yeah. This is a tangled mess. I wonder if one of the things that would help the AI is if it just used single line rather than double line. And I'm saying this more when I'm fighting them. It just... They seem to never really maximize their firepower, and they lose a lot of it because they get stacked on top of each other. Now this is not... Yeah, this is not at all where we want to be. But hey, they don't know that. Though, I think they're going to figure it out. Alright, Cav. This wasn't really what you were supposed to do, but you've done something useful. So let's move you back. Now let's hit here. And you all actually set to attack. But like, yeah. Right, because there are all these brigades here. It's a lot of reinforcements. And on my end, we're not really doing... We're just kind of sitting there with reserves, but not maximizing what we could put in the front. So. All right. My guess is this kind of slog is gonna even out the casualties. Yeah, a little bit. Alright, set them to defend. Move that artillery out into the field. McCook, who are you a part of? King. Well, that's that fight up there. Over here, we're going to pull back. Now, let's push these already engaged armies onto the attack. I will say switching to AI does not really do anything about the lag. Not that it should, but it doesn't. If you're wondering, keep that artillery out there, move that artillery over there. And, yeah, we'll tell McDowell he can switch to the attack. You know, they should probably stay defending. So I guess most of Johnson's force did not make it over. Might have just been a division or two. No idea what that was. Took a pretty good flanking move here. You know. Now I think they're figuring out the problem with their front. Wow, that got them to retreat. It's a fairly short retreat timer. Which I'm surprised given how close our armies are to one another that it's not a little bit longer. Well, I don't have too many complaints about the AI. I think I got to figure out whether I want to keep it, if I want the AI to take place at the army level, at the corps level, the division level, or even maybe the brigade level. And, just I'll give the divisional attacks and then the brigades can kind of figure out how they do it. But, I mean, it helped that we had a pretty significant numerical advantage because we actually did for the first day, and then after that, because that pocket got routed when the reinforcements did arrive, when Johnson arrived. No, it was Beauregard arrived. The odds were much less favorable for them. So, all right, turn you to attack. We can turn McClellan to assault. Kelly can go to assault. But it looks like everyone over here. Not everyone, but almost everyone over here is broken. I think they're just routing for morale reasons. And they seem to be cracking. Yeah, they're just cracking because of, I guess, all the other units that have run. All right, and now we've cracked the rest of them. All right. So 5,500 for us, 20,000 for them. So yeah, the AA had a good showing. But they also had pretty favorable circumstances. And now we're just getting the report of what we kind of already know. I mean, it's a great win for us. It's a manpower trade. It's a little hard to believe, but it has absolutely depleted the readiness of kind of this. It's the most experienced force I have. They're the ones who've been around the entire time, and only McDowell is left with some readiness. That's all we have left, and we're not quite to Petersburg. So even though we've won the battles, we're hurting for readiness, and we're in enemy territory, so it's going to be hard to get back. McClellan, it's less true, but it is somewhat true. Jeez, I'm just not sure what to do with this. Yeah, it's blocked by 51%. Rockets landing. I mean, it does a fair amount. So we want it. But we're up to that hour-and-a-half mark. That's a fairly long one. So I am going to wrap this episode here. Yeah, the 63 campaign has not disappointed for me, at least so far. We're, okay, 77 morale and everything else. They're actually doing, they're not doing as bad as I thought they would, considering how those two battles went. Wow, yeah, we have just 372,000 men fielded. So 160 and 160 for them would be 320. So yeah, or pretty much 340 for them. So we have more than 2-to-1 advantage. We're doing all right, starting out well, and I like some of the AI stuff. If they're not super desperate situations, seeing how they handle it. So I think that's a trend I'll try to continue here in the future episodes in this campaign and see how I like it. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed the episode, and hope to have you back for the next one.